Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all's holiday season is going well. It is currently Christmas Eve when I'm recording this, and I'm going to try to get this up today because it shouldn't be that much work. But I had an idea to try to get at least one more video in before the year ends, and I thought what better way to do that than with my top 10 books of the year. Now, this was a hard list for me to pull together because I read a lot of books this year. This year, my goal was 50 books, and I've already surpassed that. I'm currently at 61 books, I think, and I plan to finish at least two more before the year ends. So that's a really big jump, and so I had a lot more to choose from in terms of like the number of books that I've read and the number of favorites to pull out. But I didn't want to do like a 25 list. I was like, that's doing too much. I'm gonna be here all day. Hot 10 for you that you can kind of see the cover of one of them right here. So I'm going to run through these. They're in no particular order. So I'll give you my top 10 and then I will give you my favorites out of those. So to start, let's go with the one you can see, which is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I loved this. So I actually listened to the audiobook first and then I had to buy the book because it was so good. The audiobook is amazing. It's like a podcast and then it's like a regular book put together. The sound production, it sounds really good. It has all different kind of sound effects in there. I really do hope that you add this to your list of 2026 if you have not read it yet. It's so incredibly good. The story is so eerie and weird. If you haven't, I think I've talked about this book at least sometime at some point this year, so you probably have heard me talk about it already. But it's definitely a very good mystery. It keeps you on your toes the entire time. Basically, just to give you a little touch of what it's about, it's a story of two women who share a birthday and they end up coming in contact with each other somehow, some way. I can't remember right now. Oh, wait, I do remember. Anyways, they end up coming in contact with each other and realize that they have the same birthday, find that interesting, and then they end up kind of getting to know each other. And one of the women ends up telling the other woman her story, and that kind of unravels a few things. And I don't want to give too many more details because I really think it's good to go into a book like this blind. I don't know. I didn't read anything about it prior to going in. So just know it gets super weird. And I think I gave the same little tidbit from last time when I talked about this book. But one weird thing, just to let you know, like it's weird, but it's so good. There is one that both of the women, they have children and partners. And so the one of the kids for one of the women, the way that we were introduced to this child is, first of all, the child is like grown. Like she's living with her mom still, which is totally fine, but she is not like a baby. I think she's maybe in her early 20s or late teens, something like that. Um, but anywho, how we're introduced to her is her mom is pulling baby food out of a cabinet and serving it up on a platter to her on the outside of her door. And we also, there's a smell or a stench coming from her room. Very scary stuff. But anywho, it gets explained in a really great way. So just go ahead and listen to the entire thing. But I definitely recommend. This is a one that you really want to get the audiobook for. I mean, favorite audiobook of the entire year. So that's book one. Like I said, these are in no particular order. These are just the ones that I pulled off my shelf, as you can see. This is my little shelf, y'all. I haven't even done a little tour for you guys. That'll be a different video. So this, I have another shelf that's behind you guys. That's like all my nonfiction stuff. But yeah, this is my little shelf, and so I took some things off here. I've got some holes. Just ignore that. Okay, we'll go over that in another video. But anywho, on to book two. Number two, The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. This book is so good. So I started this book in like February of this year, and then it's a big book. Okay, she's big. I think I want to say 800 some pages. Yeah, like I think it's almost 800 pages, and so I started it and I was really enjoying it. And the story, like I said, it's so well written. It's so beautifully written. And I put it down in the beginning of the year, not because I didn't enjoy it. I think I just got caught up in other books and this one was so long and making excuses really, because it's really a great book. I enjoyed it for that first like 20% that I read before putting it down for the remainder of the year. But then I picked it back up recently, maybe at the top of December, and I have been reading it physically. I've been reading it physically. I've been reading it on my Kindle, and I've been listening to the audiobook. This is like one of the first times that I've done that, but I wanted to like kind of switch it up because the book is so long and I really want to finish it before the year is out. So sometimes like I can't carry the big book around, so I'll have my Kindle. Other times I'm occupied doing things. I'll put the audiobook on. The girlies get it. Y'all know how it goes. But this book is so good, and it's telling a lot of different stories. It's not just about one person, which I like, and you're getting like a lot of point of views, which is really great, of people in a family. But the way that it's described of giving a backstory to each individual person's lives is so interesting. And like, I'm at the point now where I'm starting to connect the dots between the people in the story, and it's making sense of the timelines that are being explained. And you have to just read it to understand what I'm saying, but it's so fantastic. I don't really know if I want to give anything about this one. But it's really good. I don't want to say nothing about it. Read the book. It's very good. If you like historical fiction, this will be the book for you. Yes, it's a big boy. It's a big boy, but no, so far, in my opinion, no pages have been wasted. There's no fluff. Everything has intention. Everything has purpose. And it is a very good book. So this is definitely going to be, even though I'm not even done with it yet, I'm about 70% through. I can already say that this is going to be, it's definitely my top 10 of the year. All right, next up, book 3, One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I love this. This is my very first Carly Fortune book ever. I know there's 2 others in this series that come before this, but because they're like, I think they're like interconnected standalones, I was like, I think I'll be okay to just read this one. And I'm very happy that I did. I waited to the summer to read it. It was so good. It just was a very heartwarming, set on the beach, or I think, is it a lake? It's a lake. Anyways, set on the lake. The female main character, she does photography, and that's really cool. I like the way that some of that is explained. And of course, I really love the main male character. I love the chemistry that they had. There was no instant love. It grew very organically. The side characters were great. Everything about the book the whole time, I was like locked in. And she has a book coming out next year. I plan to do another video about the books I want to read in 2026. She has another book coming out next year, I think, in the summer as well, and I will be on it the second it drops. I'm so excited. So that's definitely one of my favorites. Number 4, we've got Emily Henry Beach Read. This was my 3rd Emily Henry book that I've read. I think I've done Book Lovers, I've done this, and I've done Funny Story. Funny Story was awesome as well. I loved Funny Story. But this one, I bought this book, what, last year? Was that last year or this year? I don't know now. But I bought this book at a romance bookstore here in Dallas, and so it has like, excuse my janky what are these things called, little bookmarks. This is before I bought the cute little transparent sticky note bookmark things, so I had to rip up little tiny paper sticky notes that I had. So I need to replace them because it's kind of ruining this beautiful pretty gradient that I have on the side for the sprayed edges. But anywho, very good book. I remember loving the chemistry between the 2 characters. It's so funny because it's called Beach Read, but if I remember correctly, it's set like also on a lake, which is fine. I'm here for it. I really loved both of them. One part of this book that really pushed it into my top 10, on top of it just being just a great book and I really enjoyed it all the way through. I read it and I listened to the audiobook, was the part at, I think, towards like the end, with the letters from her dad. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to have any spoilers for anyone who hasn't gotten to it yet. But those letters just reminded me of my dad and just made me like, I don't know, I just really liked it. And those parts stuck with me so much that I think about this book often. And I really liked it. So another good romance read. Check it out if you haven't. Like I said, this book is not new, but I just got around to it. But I really enjoyed it. Definitely my favorite from her. Funny Story was super good. So now I'm like, I don't know. But I really enjoyed this one. All right, what is this? Number 5? I think. Number 5, Maame. This book, you know what? I was gonna wait till the end to do this. This is in my favorites of the year. I think there had like 2 or 3 that are like in my top favorites of the year. This is one of them. This book felt so special to me and so like just like a book that was made for me. You know, you have a book that's like, did you write this? Did you call and think about me and say, what book should I write? And then write it and then give it to me? Because this is what this felt like. I loved this book. Every single page, I loved it. There wasn't a part where I was like, oh, like, no. I read this book with joy in my heart every single time. Now, it wasn't always joyful. There were some parts in here that were hard to read, and I had to, I felt a little emotional behind, but the book was so good. And I feel like the way that this author really just gave us a full picture of our main character and showed us all the different sides of her and gave us a good growth and development of her character from beginning to end. Like, it just really meant a lot to me. And I don't know, this book, whenever I hold it, I always just like it just means something to me. And if you haven't read it, it's very, very good. It's kind of like a like a coming not a coming of age, because she's like grown. She's not like 18, but it's kind of like finding your way in early adulthood and setting your boundaries and realizing some of the things that you grew up in that aren't that healthy, and learning things about yourself and those around you that you just couldn't see before, but now it's starting to make sense through the experiences that you're going through. I don't know. I just love this book so, so much. And I definitely think that everyone should pick it up and read it. Jessica George is absolutely amazing. She has a book coming out next year as well. Once again, it's another book from her that I will be ready to go. I'm so excited for the second that it drops. I don't know what month it comes out. We'll talk about that in another video. But this is definitely in my favorite books of this year. I can't wait until I have enough time and space between the time I read it until I want to read it again. That sentence made no sense, but you get what I'm saying. I'm looking forward to rereading this. And I'm not a book rereader, but I thoroughly look forward to rereading this book. Okay. Is this number 6? Oh, number 6 is Real by Kennedy Ryan. I do not have a copy because I sold it at my pop-up, which I will be doing another pop-up here next year. More to come on that. Yeah, but Real by Kennedy Ryan, I read that at the top of the year. So, so amazing. I'm a Kennedy Ryan fan, so I mean, I'm going to like pretty much anything that she puts out. I have never been disappointed, and I've read a lot of her old stuff and the newer things. Like I said, I really enjoyed her most recent book that came out. What's the last one called? I have it right here. Where is it? Can't Get Enough. Loved it. It's up at the top. You can't see it. But is it Can't Get Enough? I'm tripping. No, it's Can't Get Enough. Anyways, but Real was so good. I just love how she explores just different things that Black women face. She always does a great job of that no matter what. But her experiences feel so relatable and understanding for, even though I haven't gone through the same things that the main male character in the main male character. The female male the female main character. Wow. Even though I have not experienced the same things that she was experiencing, I still felt like I could hold on to her story, and I was able to keep along to what she had going on, and it all made sense to me. But she just writes love so beautifully, and I love the way that she allows these beautiful Black women to experience the love. It's so sweet and it's so wonderful, and I never get tired of her writing. I never get tired of reading those scenes from her that really just show the kind of love that is out there for us to have. And so I've been also this year, side note, I watched so many of her interviews that she did, I think when Can't Get Enough was coming out. And there's something like getting to know an author that you really enjoy, because she's one of my favorites. Also, if y'all did not see, okay, I posted something where I got a special edition of her book that she did with Cover Snob. It was a collaboration with Cover Snob, and they had sprayed edges. It's up there. I can't reach it, so I'm sorry. But if I can, I'll insert a picture or something of it. She commented on my TikTok post. Okay, no one talked to me. I said, let me put this is the meme I responded to her with. You know when Beyonce did that when she won the award down to the whatever the one of the awards was. Anyway, yes, she responded to my post. She actually commented on it herself. I said, "Sister, love ya." So that was something that was really, really cool this year. I would have been grateful for any author to have responded to something that I posted about one of the books that I review, but her as one of my favorites, especially as one of my favorite Black authors, felt so good. But anyways, Real was amazing. I did not even talk about the book. I just talked about Kennedy Ryan. Y'all probably heard me talk about her a lot. Read the book. Read it. Nothing else to say. All right, what else? Recursion by Blake Crouch. This was different for me. I started reading that because one of my coworkers brought it up to me, and I was like, this sounds interesting. I really like anything that has to do with like a time manipulation, time jump. That's my thing. So usually I'm reading that in the context of a romance book, but this one was like action and thriller kind of vibe with the time, manipulation aspect to it. And I was like, okay. So I listened to the audiobook of it actually, and it was so good. I'm talking 10 out of 10. Definitely a favorite of mine for the year. And it got me really into Blake Crouch. So I read Recursion. Now I'm currently reading the Pine series that he does. So I have one more book left in that series. I've just bought Dark Matter by him last week. I haven't read it yet, but it's up at the top shelf. I bought that, and then I plan to get through the rest of his. I mean, he has a lot of books. I probably won't be able to finish all of those, but I do have a little long list that I've put to the side of his books that I really want to get to. But this one, basically, what's going on, just a little tidbit, because you know I don't like sharing what books are about. Just to give you a little bit of insight about this book, I'll read a little bit from Goodreads. So basically, it just says, memory makes reality. That's what New York City cop Barry Sutton is learning as he investigates the devastating phenomenon that media has dubbed false memory syndrome, a mysterious affliction that drives its victim mad with memories of a life they never lived. There's more to that, but I don't want to read more. But it's very, very interesting, and I was on my toes the entire time. Okay, so if you're looking for something like that, that's fast paced, that's thrilling, that's all that. This plus great writing also, and I feel that he's been very. I don't know the order of what these books are. I think Recursion is one of the more newer ones, but all out of the three or four books I've read by him, it's been consistently good every single time. So I'm excited to get into more of his books next year. And then what else? All right, number 8. Oh, this was so good. Number 8 is Wedding People. I loved this book. It was so good. I read this book. I didn't do an audiobook at all for it. It was so fabulous. Man. So much so that I immediately bought another book by this author, Allison. I think it's Espach. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Um, what's the book called? It's called Notes on Your Sudden Disappearance. I immediately bought another book by her when I finished this because it was so good. The writing was so amazing. It's basically about a girl, a lady. She is going through a lot in her life right now, and it's all becoming too much, basically. And so she kind of gets away and goes to this hotel. But when she arrives, she realizes that the entire hotel is filled with people that are there for a wedding. And so she ends up interacting with the bride pretty early on. And the bride is very eccentric, if you will. She's got a lot going on. And it just kind of explains kind of the things that she's learning about herself as she analyzes these people here, the wedding people, as the book is named. And it's just such a good story. It's so good. I really, like I said, even though I haven't experienced a lot of things that this main character has experienced, I just felt very much connected with her and very empathetic to what she was going through. And it was just really cool to see the things that she learned about herself. Kind of the same, a similar vibe with Maame, like a similar situation, but different, in a different setting and a different kind of person. But going through life and you're experiencing other people, that's teaching you about yourself. It's showing you and revealing things that you maybe are that you don't like about yourself or that you do like about yourself, and you're seeing how other people are not that much different from you, all this kind of stuff. But anyways, I really enjoyed her writing, and it was funny too. There were some funny parts in there. It was some of it was kind of bleak. It had to be, but some of it was very funny and very inspiring, and I just was happy to see this main character, her growth throughout the book was really, really great, and it just was great. And I this is also one that I could see myself rereading in the future. But it was so good, so good, and also made some good light fun at wedding people. And we all, at some point or another, if you've been to a wedding, been in a wedding, or gotten married, you've been a wedding person. And so it's funny to see kind of the things that we do when we are a wedding person. So it was really good. Oh, I'm just throwing my books around. Sorry to you, books. Okay, number 9. The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. Man, so many lessons, so many things. This is my first Toni Morrison book that I have read. And I've been wanting to get into all of her books. And so I have a couple on my shelf up there. But this is the first one that I've read. And first of all, get into this beautiful copy that I got from Half Price Books. It's so stunning. I love it. I love it. I love it. So stunning. But anyways, I think that I read this one and I underlined a whole bunch in here. This book was so very good, and I don't know if I want to give anything about what it's about, but her writing style is so unique, and I feel like it made me want to like go write an essay, maybe want to study her writing, and I did. I watched a lot of interviews from her. She also had a documentary that was on. I think they took it off now, but you can probably watch it on other platforms. I forgot what it's called. Is it called Toni Morrison? Anyways, she had a documentary that I watched this year that I really enjoyed. I watched a lot of her interviews and stuff like that, and her writing style is just something so unique, and I hadn't experienced it before. So I had to take my time reading through the book to make sure that I was understanding what was happening and like the nuances, excuse me, that she was throwing in there. And so I had to take my time with it, but it was time well spent. And I think that everybody should be reading at least one, if not all, Toni Morrison's of all of her books. But this one was so good, especially just kind of seeing myself in some of the characters that are included in here, and some of the things that, although we're in a different time frame now than what this book was written in, still a lot of the things still apply. So it was just very interesting to see them explored here. I won't give more on it, but like I said, this is a book that's been out for a long time. So you may have already read it, but if you have not, it's definitely worth a read or a reread if you have read it. Definitely one of my favorites. All right, last in the list, we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This book was so good. I loved it. I've always been very big into the vampire lore of it all. I love the Twilight. I love all the things vampires, Vampire Diaries, give it to me. I'm here for it. And so, only thing I knew about this book going in was she got vampires up in there. That's all. Only thing I knew. There's vampires in this book. And so basically what it's doing is exploring the story of three separate people on three separate timelines, and whether they are vampires or they are somehow, excuse me, connected to vampires. It's just very, very interesting. I don't want to give too much on it because I don't want to ruin it. I think you should just go in and just read it. It was so, so good. But I'll give you this little tidbit of what it says on the back. Three young women, their bodies planted in the same soil, their stories tangling like roots. One grows high, and one grows deep, and one grows wild, and all of them grow teeth. Oh, yeah. It's so good. So I really, 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 really liked this. I loved hearing the stories. Like I love the super, super old part of the vampire. Is it vampirism? Don't worry about it. You know what I mean. I loved hearing about the super old, way back when stories of vampires. I love that part of it. I love the modern stuff too. But when they start talking about the very first ones and how that all came to be, that part is really interesting to me. And I got a big chunk of that in this book, which was amazing. So if you're into vampires, even if you're not, the book is just good, point blank, period. But if you are into vampires, this is the book for you. Okay, it's very, very good. This definitely slid right on in to my top 10 books of the year. Um, Honorable mentions that are not a part of the top 10. I finally, after years of my friend recommending this book to me, and I had the book on the shelf, I just didn't get around to it. Normal People by Sally Rooney, 5 stars. Loved it, fabulous. When I first started it, I cracked it open one night and I read like 130 pages just off rip. And because on the front of the book it says, I think somebody said it on here. Hold on. A novel that demands to be read compulsively in one sitting. I couldn't agree more. Now I didn't end up doing that, and I'll get to why in just a second. But yeah, I definitely read pretty much half the book in the first time I opened it up. Yeah, so I definitely did read pretty much half of the book in my first sitting, and it just flowed. I don't know, and it's like a lot of dialogue between the main two characters in the book, and it's just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, jumping across all these different timelines. And you would think that that would make it a little bit like chaotic and hard to keep up with, but that wasn't my experience. I was looking through different reviews, and some people said it was just like they didn't get it, and it was way too much going on. I didn't have that experience. I thought it was so great. It seemed like a flow of consciousness between the dialogue of our main characters. So it was like, when you're thinking, sometimes you'll have a thought, and that first thought that comes up is probably not the greatest thought. It's probably not true to what you actually believe about yourself, but that's the first thought, whether it's bad or ugly or wrong. That's the thought that comes into your head. And I feel like a lot of times, and some of the books that I've read, you don't get that first thought that your character is having. You get the more formed thought, the thought that has a little bit more sense to it. And I felt like in this book, I got to really see these characters' initial thought, the nasty, ugly thought, whether they said it out loud or not. Sometimes they didn't say it, but they definitely thought it, and I thought that was very relatable and real. That sometimes those thoughts that you have in your head, they're not always the well put together ones, and I think it's cool to be able to see what these characters, especially when they were younger too, the things that they were thinking about themselves at a time when we don't really know about ourselves yet, was so interesting to see. Now, the only reason it took me a little bit longer to get through it, I should have finished it in like a day, but maybe the next day or the day after, like maybe the second or third day that I started reading it, I spilt my water on it in my purse. I had no clue, and so I think it gives a character now. I'm calmed down. I'm not upset about it anymore. I was very mad when I got to work that day, and I realized my book was soaked. I spent days drying it out. But anyways, so I had to wait until it dried for me to continue reading it because I didn't want to rip all the pages up. And so you can see it's still got a nice little wavy texture there now. And so I considered getting a new book, but I was like, you know what? It adds character, and I actually wrote myself a little note in the front. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I wrote myself a little note in the front about what happened to this book and what I was going through when I read it. So that way I can always have it. But as you can see, there was a lot to bookmark. I actually lost some of my little sticky notes because of the water, but I tried to keep as many as I could in the first half that I read prior to spilling water all over it. It was so, so good. And I haven't watched it yet, but I do want to go back and watch the show on Hulu for it. So I'm going to do that maybe today. We'll see. Okay, another honorable mention, Only for the Week by Natasha. Okay, my best friend's name is Nitasia, and her mom's name is Natasha. So it's just a lot. Let's try this again. Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. I love this. First of all, I know they did a redo of the cover. I love the old cover too, but this cover is so, so cute, right? This was so good. I love this book. It was very spicy, honey, very spicy, but it was so cute, and I love the love that was up in here. Okay, it was perfect for the summer. So if you're trying to plan out your reads for next year, and you haven't gotten around to this one, it's been out for a minute too. She has another book coming up next year as well that I will be reading. It might even be, I think it is the second book in this series, the Forever Falling series. I believe it is the second book, but anywho, this was so good. Okay, it was the first. They were like, I think were they in Cabo, Tulum. They were in Tulum. Okay, they was out in Tulum. It was high. Everybody was looking good. The main male character loved him down. Okay, him and his brother too down. Okay, they're one of my favorites. Love them so much. And this book was just so, so good. So this is a great book for you to read next year. Definitely honorable mention, excuse me, for my 2025 favorites. Well, I guess that about covers it. All right, y'all. Well, that is my top 10 books of the year. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what your favorite book of the year was. Put it in the comments. And then be on the lookout for more info on my next pop-up bookshop. If you're in the DFW area, I will be hosting another pop-up where I'll be selling books and my custom-made bookmarks and stickers, and I have some other special things that I'll have there as well. So I look forward to seeing you guys, and there's more information to come on that coming soon. Okay, I hope y'all have a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday. If I don't talk to you guys again before the new year, Happy New Year. And stay safe out there. Okay. Love you guys so much. Bye.